going on, guys? So doing a little bit of documentation for my case right now, and things that I've observed the last couple of weeks actually. So I changed up some things about my routine in the last couple of weeks, and I have noticed that the Valley Metro bus system, bus drivers have been participating a lot more in the gang stalking and being a lot more overt and aggressive about it. There's certain areas of town where I have regular perps monitoring me as soon as I get off the bus, as soon as I come into the location, like this piece of trash right here. Just standing on the corner like a robot, doing their slave thing. Slaving for the police. Like I said, I just got off the bus right over there, and he's just posted up on the corner as soon as I started walking across the street. And this area right here, they're really good for that, but that's been the setup for the most part. For the last couple of weeks, I've had a really aggressive amount of monitoring and stalking. And that's simply because they don't know a lot about what I'm doing, because I've switched up the program a bit. And that tells me a lot. It tells me that it requires more, I guess, angles of surveillance and monitoring for them to be able to really have a grip on you, even though they have the apps where they can see what you see and hear what you hear and all that. They still really want to have this massive, aggressive monitoring and stalking type of setup, because they need it. You know, it's the all-seeing eye. So they want to be able to see you in all angles, at all times, in all places. So the struggle for them to try to keep that going has been real for them, because, like I said, I've switched things up a little bit, and I began to see them trying to acclimate and adjust. And this is when you can catch their ass. See, my switch up wasn't so necessarily comfortable, but it was necessary, because this is when you can get all the good evidence. This is when you can get all the aggressive behavior and the consistency. That's key. That is key. Because, you know, just a once around, that's just a happen snapping. But when it's consistent, that's a freaking pattern. So then you begin to have questions that are arriving now that you're seeing this pattern. So utilize it as I have, and use it as your benefit as I will. Not only that, but I've seen the participation with like restaurant employees amp up a bit. Like I said, we're all familiar with job mobbing, but there's an aggression to it that should be documented. Now, the only reason why I don't document inside of my job often is because it's a small environment, and you don't want to run the risk of them catching on to what you're doing, so that, you know, that organic behavior stops. So you want to keep that up. Now, see this guy here? You see how he was waiting for me to show up, and now he works in this fries here. The security in here are involved. So whenever I come in, they're monitoring and watching me like I'm some thief. They don't think I'm going to steal anything. They're just monitoring. What does she get to eat? Can we put that in, get something in her body with that? This fat nigga sitting over here, he's just a slave, boy. Ready to do whatever the white man tells him to do. He down. That's another thing that they do quite a bit, and they've been more aggressive with, is trying to assess what I'm going to be eating and drinking. Now this girl in the purple shirt, she's perp. She's already been sitting in here to watch me. Now you see how he began moving as soon as I started moving? You see how he did that? That synchronization? That's not accidental. That's not accidental. Now see how she just got done talking to him? The girl in the purple. You see that? As I say, you gotta be discerning. You gotta be alert. You'll catch it all. You will catch it all. You will catch it all. Just be patient. You will see it all and you will catch it all. But the attack on the things that I eat have been on for a very long time. Because I've been hip to the whole putting things in your food, even in the store, game for a while. So they've taken on running into the store the moment I'm going in, trying to get to the food before I get to it, to do something to it. Which takes a lot of energy and a lot of effort. But they do it. Believe me, they do it. It does not matter to them. All they care about is making sure that they get it into whatever the product is so that it ends up in your body. But that's been, and this, I typically don't come in this fries because they're really bad about it here. So most of their food is already pre-contaminated. So, the idea of coming in this one and buying water, healthy juices, especially the things that are healthy, they really affect those. But they've even started to affect the stuff that's not so healthy because they know that I use that as an alternative. So when they get desperate, they don't really care. They'll just put it in whatever it is that you're going to be eating or drinking, and that's all they care about. But the attack has definitely been great, and they have been relentless in their attack, and I don't really anticipate them changing, to be honest with you. But that's neither here nor there. You just got to keep doing what you do, and keep your eyes open and make sure that you're being discerning. That's the key. Don't let them put you in a rush. Take your time and discern these things. But don't ever go into a store and just pick up things without examining it thoroughly. Because 9 times out of 10, it has been messed with. If you are already aware that you're being targeted for genocide. And that is what this is, folks. That is indeed what this is. It's a slow kill. You know, all the poisoning, putting these things in your food, watching you to try to see if it's going to kill you, watching to see if it's going to, you know, if it's affecting you in some kind of way to make it look natural. That's what this is. This is a Holocaust that we're dealing with. But just like the so-called digital age, they're just doing it in a different, new way, as they would say. You know, to make it seem as though, you know, they were just unhealthy. They just had a heart attack. Yeah, they just had diabetes. You know, they didn't eat very good. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you just have to do your best and leave the rest in the hands of your creator. But I'm going to peace out. I'll hop back on when I get ready to leave, just in case there's any activity.